classes.
Hello, I am Sandra Lee, Human Design Specialist, Biofield Tuning Practitioner, with a Tuning Up to Thrive conversation with my wonderful friend, Valerie Terrell. And this is an exceptional interview because this is the first one I get to do with somebody in person. Oh my goodness. So Valerie has been my wonderful photographer for I don't know how many years now.
I don't know, maybe 3?
It's been quite a while.
Yeah.
We've done like 5 or 6 rounds of photographs for me over the years. And anytime I want new headshots, I live in Canada and I visit Olympia, Washington, which is where I used to live in, which is where we are now. And I hold my photography requests for the time when I am here, because this is where my photographer is. If you've worked with a photographer, you know that you have someone you like. You like their style, you like their relationship with you, and you only want to work with your photographer. This is my photographer. And I have been talking with her for a while about doing this conversation alive, where we're talking about how to take compelling headshots. She does a lot of types of photography. She does headshots for individuals and people like me. She does a lot of houses, taking photography for houses to be able to show on the internet. She's honest about how she does them. And then she does some other things as well that it's nice for her that she gets some variety. But I wanted her to talk about how to take good headshots, because she's got so many pearls of wisdom about that I hadn't heard before, that I hear her, drip one out here and there. So, Valerie.
Okay. Do you want to hear why you should have a professional headshot?
Yes.
Well, for one, it creates value in your brand. So it establishes a strong brand for yourself, just like your website would and everything else. So by having a professional headshot, it shows people that you value your profession and that you want to stand out. So branding is very important, and you want to stand out in a crowded market. It communicates your personality and your professionalism to potential clients and maybe employers, if you're looking to go down that road. But in a saturated market, it's important, and to invest in that little piece to add to your website, it just, you have to do it. It's important. It's a critical part of who you are as a professional. So when we take Sandra's pictures, it's really important that we bring out Sandra's personality and what she does, right? Like, even if I drag her to the lake to do a massage outside or something, because, sometimes it would be my job to pull somebody's personality out of them the way maybe I see them. And sometimes, like in Sandra's case, I know her. Well, I've gotten to know her, and I'll say, hey, do you want to try this? If I don't know you, I will have to figure you out really quickly, like in a matter of 5 or 10 minutes. And with that, I really good with faces. So I would look at your face and I would notice, you're asymmetrical. Is there anything I need to correct with the tilt of the head? So things like that, it's really important. And every stage of your career, your headshot is valuable. It's the first impression people see when they look at your website. What does it say about you? I guess that's the why, yes?
Yeah. Well, so part of why I wanted to have this conversation is you can have a normal, boring, don't look at again headshot when you see somebody's business card or whatever. And then have you ever gotten a business card or seen a website where it's like you see their picture, like, oh, you want to know more about that person because their headshot, their picture captured you. There was enough interest. There was enough intriguing. Valerie draws out who you are into your picture. So there's what I call shine, the person just like being themselves and the glint in the eye. And Valerie uses a lot of lighting to help create some of that. But it's also the experience of being in the room with her. She makes me comfortable. And I want you to talk about that.
Making people feel comfortable. So getting your picture taken is terrifying to some people. You're basically, the way you see yourself is opposite of how anyone else sees you. So you really don't know how you look. You're coming into a strange environment in a lot of cases. I have people that I've never seen come in. I walk them to a strange room, and then they would have to sit in a hot seat. So right there, I don't do that. I don't say, go sit there and start. I go sit there. I have them just wait. I say, go ahead and take your cell phone out of your pocket, your purse or whatever. Go ahead and set it on that table. And I'm going to show you where I want you to sit. And I acknowledge right away their feelings. How are you feeling about this? Are you nervous? Do you have any concerns that will never leave this room? How are you feeling? And I get right down to their level. And it's very sincere. And I say that being a woman, it's like we have a lot of concerns. But what I've noticed is men have more. And they come across where, they don't portray that. They just come across like everything's great. They are just as, insecure about their nose, their receding hairline, their skin as we are as women. So it's just really important to be a very real person with them. And I don't make people feel like they're rushed. I sit, I listen to them, and then I sit in the chair, tell them exactly how to sit. And when they get in that chair, they're a lot more comfortable because they know what to expect. I will go up to them and say, I'm going to walk close to you right now. I'm going to look into your eyes. I'm going to see where the lights are hitting you. And I'm going to make sure it's going to paint you correctly for yourself. I walk back. I say, I'm going to turn out these lights here. So they feel like they are in control of the situation as well. And if that fails, I bring my dog in. So she will come and sit, and if she senses that you are really uneasy, which was the case very recently, normally I would tell her, sit right here. If she is not sitting, she stood up and she walked to the client and nudged his hand. It was a male, and stared at him until he smiled. And then I called her back and she sat, and we could finally proceed. And all was good. And you're in and out of there pretty quick, unless we go to the lake or something, do a commercial. People thought we were doing a commercial. Oh, it's pretty cool. But yeah, so it's basically just being authentic and caring about people and knowing, because in my own life, I have had so many bad pictures taken, and it makes you never want a picture taken again, and it's simple to just have people move. I'll have people sit this way, but really quickly I can tell what their best angle is. And a lot of time it's how they part their hair. Did you know that?
Mm-mm. I'm not a photographer. I don't know those things.
Well, but you know how you comb your hair.
Yeah.
So if somebody has their hair parted this way,
Mm-hmm.
I know that this is the favorite side of their face because it's open, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to photograph them from here. That doesn't look
that would
good.
be
So,
bad, yeah.
if you photograph them here and it's all open, it's nice, right?
Yeah.
It's like they like this side, and if it's, well, the opposite, it's weird on me. But and so yours is kind of down the center, kind of, but it's offset,
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's pretty second nature now to photograph you.
Yeah. We've done it many times.
But still, I have to make you relax. Last time you seemed a little tense in there.
Yeah.
So it's bringing out the person's personality for what they do. And a lot of times I will say, let's pretend I'm at your office and you're not at my office. How would you be talking to me if I were at your office? And that right there sparks that confidence in them
Mhm.
to be who they are and bring out what they're trying to portray. And it is, like you said, all in their eyes. It's all in their eyes. And it's like you don't have to smile for your pictures, but your passion needs to shine through your eyes.
Now, Valerie also does a wide variety of pictures where her client wants something specific. So, one population of people that you do a lot of work with is seniors and senior pictures. And sometimes they have really specific things they want to have in their picture. Talk about that a little bit.
And sometimes they don't know what they want either.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They'll just like some of them will say, I just want a cap and gown picture, or can we go to a certain location? Can I bring my dog? So it's like most of the time it's the answer is yes. If there is a canine involved, it's like, well, is your dog trained? Because that's key. But senior pictures nowadays aren't like when we had senior pictures. They're not. These girls are models now. They've spent a lot of time in front of the mirror making selfies, so they know, and they kind of want something a little more creative, more lifestyle. Typically, it's out on location somewhere. So,
Sometimes they know what they want, and sometimes they give you an idea and you create, things.
yes.
Sometimes.
Well, I give them a little interview.
Mhm.
So everyone
Yeah,
kind of
talk more about the interview, not just for the senior pictures, but for like things that I want to do with her. Sometimes we do an interview.
we do an interview. So it has to start very basic, the interview. It's like, okay, what do you do? What's your favorite color? What kind of music do you like? All seems irrelevant, but it brings out who the client is by knowing a little. Like if you said to me, I love AC/DC and Metallica, it's gonna say, I know you don't listen to a lot of music, but do you see where I'm going with this?
Yes.
Do you prefer country music or do you prefer hip hop music? It kind of helps. Music is a big one.
Hmm.
Music is a big one about how somebody is. Do you prefer an urban setting or do you prefer a more woodsy setting? And sometimes I'm really surprised with people's answer. And I'm really surprised with the amount of kids who like Western. It's kind of cool. So they're going to want to find a barn, or they have a barn, usually a horse. I don't know. So yeah, it's just basically asking people things about them. What is your style? That's another big one. If somebody says, "Well, I'm emo," or "I'm pretty casual," it sets it all up. So if somebody said, "Well, I dress more, refined," they probably want an urban setting. So just stuff like that. Questions.
So, in order to draw out a sense into the photograph of who you are, Valerie wants to know about who you are. All of these
Pretty
different
much.
things that may not seem relevant, they matter.
They do matter. They matter. It's a quick interview. It's almost like an online dating thing. I mean, really, in a sense, it's like, without getting too personal, you're telling me some key things about yourself. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, how does this sound? And I will ask people first, where do you want to go? And the answer 9 out of 10 times is, I don't know. I don't know. And that's kind of where I come into play. Then I start asking them questions. And I do have a few locations I like to go work at if I'm, leaving here. But a lot of times a professional headshot, in my opinion, I feel it should be in the studio on a neutral backdrop, because you can pull it off a backdrop and have no backdrop, but it shouldn't, I don't feel like it should be distracting. And I'm not saying you can't have one outside, but either in it, if it's on location somewhere, I like it at someone's desk, where they're sitting at their desk writing or on the phone, and it's kind of a lifestyle headshot as opposed to outside in. That's just my opinion. And when I look at all these hundreds of business cards I have in here, there's a lot of them, and there's headshots on them, and I kind of go through and look at them, and well, I'll show you an example of a nice headshot. So can you see that? Where is that? Right there. That right there was taken on a transparent background, and she imposed it right on her business card. Very professional looking. And I'm not going to show you one that's not professional looking because these are my colleagues. So I will just contact them and update it. But that was just very clean and simple. And that's all you need. You're putting it on a business card or a letterhead, and it's about your eyes. It's all about your eyes. And when you said glimmer in your eyes, another term for that is catch light. And if there's not one in there, we're going to put a fake one in there because if I take your picture, you'll have a catch light, but it brings life to your headshot. So your hair should be lit, your eyes.
Yes.
And we will not light areas where we don't like.
Yeah. So there have also been times where we specifically went to other locations. So we did do massage therapy with a table and a client at the lake. It was kind of a windy day, and so that was an adventure.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
That's so zen. I don't really know what zen is, but if I knew what zen was, that was zen to me. Like, I would love a massage outside on the lake, preferably in the Bahamas where it's warm, but you got the idea.
We've been to the golf course.
Yes, we were. That was quite an adventure. That was an adventure more than the lake.
And then we were at the place where we do networking. So it was a building with.
Oh, that was my favorite.
Yeah, and we did.
That was very urban.
We were talking about a book and human design and biofeedback tuning, and then last time we were here, and I had my Inner Gem Shine cards. So there's a whole lot of different things that I, as a client, sometimes want to include in the pictures because it's part of my, how I'm promoting whatever it is that I'm doing.
You use yours for different things.
Yeah.
So when I said outside wasn't my favorite, I'm going to retract that because it depends on what you're doing with it. Because actually the picture of you standing in the glass door is my favorite. Would it be my favorite for your business card? Absolutely not.
No, that's not what I'm putting on my business card.
I stand firm on that should be very simple. However, for marketing purposes, you standing in that door like you're entering the building to go to work, that is my all-time favorite portrait of you. I love it. I love it so much. Every time I see it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's who she is.
So on my website, I have several of the pictures that Valerie has taken. So I like having some variety to be able to play around with, and like on social media, I can change them and things like that on all these different groups and things like where they want a profile picture. I have a variety that I can choose from, and I really like that. Yeah, I tend to like the newer ones now. So one of the earlier ones we did was here in the studio when I was wearing blue. I had tuning forks.
Oh, very at first, yes.
And I do still have them. I don't use them as much. I use the more recent ones.
How old is that?
Oh, I don't know now. I gotta go look it up.
But we change.
Yeah.
So it's good to update your headshot. I say at least every 24 months. Sooner if you had a major change in how you look, a new hairstyle, you recently lost a lot of weight. I'm people who gain a lot of weight don't want a headshot, and I don't blame them. I've been there. I just will keep my headshot, and because that's a hard one for people. And it's like, can I make someone look thinner? Yes, but the problem with that is you need to look kind of
natural.
You need to look like what you look like, because well, I had an old headshot for a long time and my hair wasn't silver. And it's like a client's, I want them to recognize me when they see me. So, you know, you kind of, it's got to be close. If you're a little chubbier, it's like, well, we can thin out your face a little bit, but they won't. People won't. That no one wants to be chubby in their picture. I know. So, but if you lost weight, you definitely want to update. And also, you shouldn't wait to say when I lose 10 pounds. You shouldn't. I mean, if that's your struggle, 10 pounds is that is really like a 2-minute fix on my end. So.
Give some of the kinds of tips that you give at our networking group about.
About Friday photography tips.
Yeah, Friday
It's
photography
Friday
tips.
too. So your Friday photography tip for headshots is keep it simple. People tend to overthink what they're going to wear. Your headshots, like from here up, long sleeves. That's what I'm wearing for this video. Long sleeves are better than short sleeves. And the reason why is because if I'm taking your picture and your arm, see how my hands really stand out, but my shirt doesn't. So if my hands are down here and I'm getting my picture taken, you're noticing my face. And isn't that what we want people to notice, is the face? Also, solids are better than patterns. We coordinate pretty good. We should have, like, honestly, if we were gonna, since we're doing this, I should have said, what color shirt are you wearing? And I should have, but at least we don't clash. We're not clashing. So, you know, but yes, so in your headshot, solids are better than patterns. Long sleeves are better than short sleeves for sure. And just keep it simple. If you must wear a pattern, my recommendation is that it's a blouse with a blazer over it so that the majority of you is a solid color, because it's your eyes. Your eyes are what you don't want people, the first thing when they look at your picture, to look at your shirt or to look at your arm. You know, that's, you want them to look right here because it conveys integrity. So just keep it simple.
And something that comes to my mind that I know she's mentioned before, but she hasn't mentioned now, but is one of my big things. Make sure you drink enough water.
Oh, yes.
Why? Tell them why.
Yes.
Tell them why.
Because if you drink enough water, you look hydrated. Your eyes are clear and bright and not red. Your skin is nice and plump. You are not showing these wrinkles up here. You know, so yes, you need to be hydrated when you come for your picture, and you also need to have good sleep. You need to have good sleep the night before, because your skin is just plumper when you have good sleep and good water. So
And
yes,
you look healthier.
You just do. You glow. You glow when you drink enough water. So be the night before and the day, and don't come with a fresh haircut. You don't want to. Some people want to get their hair cut. It's like, get your hair cut and wait at least 3 days. You know, that's for men. Women could wait a little bit longer, but it's like that, you know, first day haircut is not always styled the way you want it.
If I know I have a session scheduled with Valerie for pictures, I generally try to get my haircut done about a month ahead of time so that it grows a little bit into it.
That's long.
Oh, you know, normally I have like 3 to 4 months between haircuts. So
Okay. Does your hair not grow very fast?
it grows really fast, but I get it cut pretty short.
Okay.
So,
all right. So a month before, you know your hair.
Yeah, it just depends.
Right.
It depends on you. If
Yeah.
Some people get their hair cut like every month, every week. I don't know, but I don't. So I let my hair go from like significantly shorter than it is to significantly longer than it is. So I plan it ahead of time.
Okay, that's perfect. Because, you know, that's a lot of thought. I don't think a lot of people put that much thought into it.
Well, you know,
You're a thinker.
Depending on what I have going on, I may do 1, possibly 2 photo sessions. So, you know, not too long ago, I did 2 in a year because of the things I had going on. You know, it was when I created the card deck. So, yeah, I just plan it ahead of time.
Yeah, headshots are important, for sure. It's probably, if you're a professional, it's the most important picture you're going to take. you know, it's your brand. If we recap that, it is the first impression of your brand.
And people go with their first impressions,
Yeah.
positive or not so positive. And so if you want to make a positive first impression, if that's your picture, that's why we want it to be compelling.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
And
You
yes?
could almost do this interview.
No, I
I could interview you for why is a good headshot important and how do you bring it out in someone? I think you've done it so many times on the receiving end, you could fake it well, right?
Okay.
Well, just, yeah.
All right. Well, so thank you for watching. If this has been interesting to you, mention it in the comments. And Valerie here in the Olympia area is a wonderful photographer.
Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks.